you've got to move on. You've got to say, right, this is a fresh start. I am now going to take on the world with a different outlook on it and just improve my life. What would you say to somebody that turns around to you and says, Fish, you've got to put what's happened in the past behind you. It's always going to be there, but you've got to move on and make a new, better life for yourself.
I would say try going through what I've been through and you tell me what the answer is, because I don't know what it is. You know, there's days where I just question being here. Mm-hmm. Now, I made a promise, because obviously my daughter was 9 at the time, and my father's suicide was really tough on her, because she adored him and he adored her. So when your 9-year-old daughter comes to you and says, Daddy, you suffer from depression? And I said, yeah. He says, you take tablets for it, don't you? And I said, yeah. Because, you know, we were honest with her what had happened, but, we obviously just didn't dump it all on her as a 9-year-old. But she knew that he'd taken Nana's pills. And she said, does that mean you're going to kill yourself too? And when your daughter comes up to you and says that, it breaks your heart. And I said, no, baby. And she said, pinky promise? And I pinky promised to her that I wouldn't do it. You know, this was... That messes with your head. So there's that, you know, I'm here for her, basically, not for me, because I don't get much enjoyment out of life at the moment. You know, I'm in permanent pain.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you struggle over the last couple of years.
Off my tit, especially this year, off my tit on medication. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about with people, and.
Hence organising this show.
Yeah, but you know, it's people out there struggle and life goes on. Whether you have depression, cancer, motor neuron disease, whatever, life goes on, and it's not going to stop for you.
No, that's right.
So, you know, you have a choice every day with what you do, and I just go with it. Like I said, I'm floating at the moment. And I have been for a couple of months, and it's not the best way to be, but you know, it's, considering what the alternative is, you take it.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I could not put that amount of pain on my daughter.
No. No, you can't, because none of this is her fault.
No. So you know, there's been times I've been close, and she's even walked in the room and she said, "You all right, Dad?" And I was like, how the hell did she know?
But there's something else here too, Fish. What you've also got to remember is that none of this is your fault either.
Yeah, I know that, and I don't blame myself for it. I don't blame anyone for it. It's just, yeah, it's a numbers game, you know. You just, straight down the line, it's black and white. I'm a very irrational person. Not irrational, rational person.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just think to yourself, well, the numbers of probability tell you that your numbers are going to come up eventually. So when that is, I don't know. I haven't got an agreement with the universe. But, yeah. And
that's kind of where I was going with it, was that I can't talk for anybody else's situation, but I can comment on yours because I've seen what you've gone through and I know what you've gone through. And any outsider looking in would be able to turn around and say, okay, he's been through a lot of shit and he's going through a lot of shit. But, and here we go, let me finish on this one. You've got a wonderful wife, a wonderful child, a business that you're building back up again after COVID and every other bit of shit that's happened to it, and you've got mates around you. You've got great vehicles, great house. There comes a time where take that and essentially is it go with the flow? No, not go with the flow. That's a bad way of putting it. But just start rebuilding the life and don't dwell on the past.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is there's always someone worse off than you. Because there is that, and that's what, and that's
right. And I feel the same way about my own health issues and what have you. Yeah,
and that's what I don't burden. Apart from this show now, where all my friends that listen, all three of them, probably who knew what I was going through anyway. But look, and that's one thing that I don't like to dwell too much on it, because there is always someone more worse off than you.
Yeah. And this is why we essentially are doing these podcasts.
I'm going to a funeral tomorrow of a friend whose mum got pancreatic cancer 7 weeks ago, and she died She died Good Friday. So yeah, look, there's always someone worse off than you, and I know there's days where you feel like it's, and it doesn't matter what you're going through, you feel like it's the end of days and the end of the world. You've just got to try and carry yourself through it, because
it's bloody hard.
Yeah, because life is a game of numbers, and I never say the phrase "it can't get any worse," because you know what, it can. So if you come to me and say that, I'm going to punch you in the throat. But life is a game of numbers, right? And surely your numbers are going to come up. I know the house always wins at the casino and stuff like that, but your numbers are going to come up once, and you're going to get a win, and you're going to take it, and you're going to go on for another day, another week, another month.
And let's face facts. Blokes our age, we're closer to the end than we are at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, reality, that's just reality.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up, and
we've still got a few more minutes to bore people with.
Yeah, I think the reason the Mental Men, the Facebook page, the podcast, the group, especially the group, reach out. Okay, personal messages if you're having a rough time. I've had conversations with people, like through private chat and stuff, and through Messenger. Reach out.
And look, folks, with all of Fisher's life experiences, he's good to talk to. All right.
I don't have all the answers.
Doesn't have all the answers,
but I get it.
That's it. That's the big thing. So if you do have anything you want to talk about, shoot a message through.
Yeah. Don't do it alone.
No.
And what I tried saying on a previous show, a problem shared is a problem halved, and you will, if you're listening to this on a regular basis, there are some nights I'm more here than other nights. I'm on prescription medication, and it does affect me, so sometimes I'm a babbling idiot, and then there's other times. So don't do it alone. Reach out. That's what the group is for. I'm going to start, hopefully, having like rooms at certain times where I'll just sit in a room, and if someone wants to jump in and say hi and have a chat, the rooms will be available. And obviously it'll be, around this time of night, on a weeknight somewhere. I haven't decided yet.
He's a bit of a night owl.
Yeah.
Folks, so.
Yeah. So up all day, up all night.
Whereas Justin here is a technophobe that
bedhead.
I can look at a screen and that's about it. Hence why I'm not sure if anybody's actually commented, but we'll get there.
Yep.
We'll get there eventually.
We'll get there. So we're going to wrap it up now. Thanks for listening to us, and please reach out. Don't do this alone. It's okay not to be okay. The Mental Men. Look us up on Facebook if you've come across this by accident.
Disclosure.
It's a safe site. It's a friendly site. Your
disclosure statement, Fish.
Your opinions matter.
They certainly do. I personally want to interact with you people that are out there listening to this. I do.
So Justin's an admin on the page. I'm an admin on the page. Personal messages. if you want, we'll give you a number, or we can screen time, or you can turn the camera off and we can just, talk. Because I just hate. I get to a stage where I feel like a 15-year-old girl when I'm texting. I just don't have my fingers are really fat, people. So if you want to have this 2-hour conversation with me, you've got to feel a little bit of compassion, because it's hard for me to type all these letters.
And I'll tell you what, some of the words that come out is not exactly what I would call the Queen's
It's
English.
called fat fingers are being medicated. Now, just before we end, I just want to say that our views portrayed on this show are our own and no one else's. We are not doctors or healthcare professionals. We're just two blokes with a ton of lived experience trying to help anyone who wants to listen. So you don't have to agree with us, and that's okay. But if you want to have a chat, that's what we're here for. And that's it from the Mental Men.
Thanks,
now,
everybody.
I know we go pretty heavy and deep into these shows, which is why we've started up a new show.
PC or not PC?
Let's talk about that then. We had our first episode of that this week, so that's on Monday nights at 9 o'clock, and our mental health talk show at 9 o'clock on Wednesday nights, Australian Central Standard Time. Now, if you are in crisis, call the mental health crisis number, which is 131465. Keep it in your phone, folks. It's a very handy number to have, and they're an amazing service. I know we keep saying we're going to go, but this time we are.
No, not quite. One
Okay.
more thing. The people that are listening out there, please, we need some topics. Otherwise, you're just going to listen to us dribble on.
Yeah.
And it's going to get to a point where we're going to technically run out of stuff to talk about, because we want to talk about stuff that's relevant to everybody who's listening.
And you can just, if you want to come on the show and tell us your story, we can do that now through the phone. So you can just call us into the show, and we'll organise that beforehand. And we've got the technology now to take your call, put it on air on our podcast, so you can stay in the coziness of your own lounge room, bedroom, whatever it will be, and you don't even have to come into the studio.
Good stuff.
So that's it, folks.
Stay safe, everybody.
We're all a little bit mental, and that's okay.